structures and unions. But before going through the nodes of structure and union, or before going through the practical part of structures or unions, I would like to tell you that why do we use structure? What is the need of structure? So some students may ask that despite of having so many other things to hold the data, why do we create structure? Right? We are having arrays, we can create functions, we are having so many data types. Though we are using structures, why? Right? So for that, I am first going to explain about structures in my whiteboard, and then after we will go to my PPT section in order to understand the nodes of structure. So first, let me tell you something. Suppose I am having an array A, which is looking like this, right? And it is having some size, say some random size. It is having from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I'm saying that this array int A of 6, right? So what does this mean? What is the advantages or disadvantages of an array? Have you ever think about the advantages of an array? So array advantages are nothing but array are stored in contiguous memory locations. So I have shown you in my pointer section that if this is stored at location 200 and it is occupying 4 bytes, then this will be starting with 204. Now if it is integer, it will also occupy 4 bytes, that the next will be starting with 208 and so on. So that is called as contiguous memory allocation. So array elements are stored in contiguous memory locations. Also, it can have only single data type. So if one variable or if array is declared as integer, this array A can hold only integers. Right? So if you want that here it is 1, here it is 10, then if you want to store C over here, D over here or some other character over here, it is not possible in case of arrays. This is the disadvantage of an array, that you cannot use different data types. Right? So now what is the need of different data types? So let me show you something. Suppose you are a student. And I want to create a program in which I am taking details of different students, right? So suppose I want to take details of different students, then here student 1 is S1. I am naming it as S1. S1 student may have name, it may have roll number, it may have say result, it may have kind of address or school name, anything. So you know that this is of type character array, this is of type integer, this is of type float, result can be of type float, and address is nothing but character array. So what if you want to store a data like this in contiguous manner, right? What if you want to store data like this? You cannot use array. So at that time you can create a structure. So S1 is something like this. So this is student structure. So student structure look like this. Now suppose S1 is having name say Komal, roll number 1. I used to have roll number 2 in my college, right? Then result is say 9.8 SPI. SPI doesn't matter that much, but yeah, I used to have good SPI. And address say Ahmedabad, right? So this is the details of student 1. Then for student 2 I can write some student 2 XYZ student is there. So it is having name XYZ, it is having roll number 2, it is having say 9.5 and some kind of address say Ahmedabad. I can create list of the students. So this is kind of structure. Right? Every time you do not need to take values from user like this. You can create a structure named as student which is having this members. You can create, this is kind of structures, this is also kind of structure which is named as student. If I give you different example, then let me show you something else. Suppose you are having or you are reading a book and you are creating a database for books. So what properties book must have? What are the properties that book is having? So let me erase this first. Now suppose I am having book structure. So book may have title, book may have author, book may have pages, and it may have price. Now I can create book 1, book 2, book 3 from this, right? And each of these books are having title, author, pages and price. Their own title, author, pages and price. So this is where structure is used. This is the need of structure. Now how exactly structures are organized in the memory? So suppose I am having this memory. What is the size of one structure? That is only one book. So suppose this is character array, it is having size say char 8, 10. So it is having 10, it can have maximum 10 character and each character is occupying 1 byte. So this occupied 10 bytes. Similar way for author, suppose char t of 10, each character t is an array. So I can give any array name. So similar way, this occupies 10 character into each character for 1 byte, so total 10 bytes. So in this memory, if first sign is allocated for title, that is 10 byte, another byte 10 byte is occupied by the author name. Here after that, this pages are of type integer. Each integer take 4 bytes and we are having just one page, right? Like say one variable pages. So pages occupy 4 bytes. So here it will be 4. And last but not the least, price. I am taking price as float. So if this is float, each float is occupying say 8 byte. So here 8 byte will be assigned. So total 10 plus 10, that is 20, plus 4, that is 24, plus 8, that is 32. So 32 byte will be occupied by this structure. That means just book 1 occupied 32 bytes. Book 2 occupied 32 bytes. Book 3 occupied 32 bytes. Right. So this is how they are stored in my memory. So if you want to see how structure is stored after performing the practicals, you can perform a program to take the addresses. We have dealt with pointer, right? So you can point to some variable and get its address. So you can see how it is stored if you want. So this is how structures, this is why structures are needed. Now unions are the similar, having similar syntax as structure. There is a little difference in memory allocation of union, but that I am not going to cover now. That I am going to cover in the topic of union. So now in the next video, I am going to talk about how structure is declared, how the structure members here, this title, this author, pages and prices are known as members of structure. Members of structure. How you can access members, how you can take values inside these members and how you can print this value. So in my next video, I am going to talk about all of these things. So stay tuned with me, and I hope you enjoy this class and understand the concept of structure. In the next videos, we are going to implement it practically. So stay tuned with me. If you have any doubt, you can comment below the comment section and ask me. See you in the next class. Thank you so much.